WIPcast episode. No.
Oh,
I can't do it. 9. All right. Welcome to episode 9 of the Working Podcast. We are in Jose's car.
Yeah, in the
parked
whip.
in an undisclosed location.
We're in the whip mobile. Hey, in the whip. That's so funny.
And this one is a little bit more intimate. We're actually looking, I don't know, is it better if we look directly into the camera or like slightly above it, like we're models?
I don't know, I'm
or
probably
something?
going to be looking down most of the time while I'm pondering, and then like looking at the camera when I'm explaining stuff, and then looking at you when I'm listening.
So this version is going to be...
Triangle, like they say when you're talking to somebody. You should look at each one of their eyes, and then down at their nose, and then out.
Oh, that's,
social
I have
interactions.
A now. Yeah,
That's the thing.
All right, so... It is August, whoa, it's not even...
Yo.
I'm drunk, let me go home. It's April 3rd.
It's April, it's springtime. It's nice outside.
It's like 30 degrees outside.
Yeah, that's pretty cold.
And the weather outside is not good.
It is frightful.
I was going to sing that. The weather outside is not, it looks like if you were to just look at the day, it looks really nice, but it doesn't feel that nice. But
yeah, it's super chilly. It shouldn't be.
But yeah, we live in Jersey, so...
Yeah, we like weather.
Yeah, we never get any sense of consistency, so...
Anyways, welcome to Working Podcast, episode 9.
Car edition.
Yeah, I'm Jose. This is my buddy Yasser.
I'm Yasser, thank you.
Hello. And today's episode, if you haven't checked out episode 8, go check it out. It's a wonderful video game episode.
Yes.
Super nostalgia factor, lots of retro things in there, and lots of things that'll make you kind of ponder.
Check out our Instagram, too.
Yeah, check out the Instagram. At WIPcast.
Yeah, at WIPcast.
Check out the Twitter at WIPcast Radio.
_radio.
WIPcast_radio. And
hashtag ask WIPcast.
Yeah, man, games. So today we have another kind of concept episode, right?
Yeah. This one is going to be all about movies, and we decided to take advantage of this scenic location and just do something a little different, right? We're still kind of experimenting with this, and we realized that the flexibility of our setup allows us to just really record from anywhere, so that's what we're doing. So
Guerrilla Whipcast today. Yeah,
so let us know in the comments section below if you guys enjoyed it, and then we'll keep trying out different locations.
For sure. So what's going on? What is this episode entailing?
So we're gonna get right into it, and this one was inspired by the fact that last week we watched Batman vs Superman, and the week before that we did something relating to gaming, and that the Division, and that inspired us to talk about games. So
right.
I just figured, hey, we just watched that movie last week, so let's make this one about movies. So we're going to get into some questions, and also if you guys want to answer these in the comment section below, also do it.
Yeah, let us know what you think.
It's a nice little exercise. So we're going to step into the first question. And
you have a script?
Yeah, yeah. And they're just kind of based off like just observations that we've been through and realizing the landscape of how movies are being released these days and how much critical reception plays into how good the numbers of a movie are and whether or not people see it. So our questions are related around that. So let me get right into the first one. It says, what's a movie that you enjoyed that received a negative reception from the critics? So you enjoyed it even though somebody, Ebert or Rober or like all those like famous guys, they're like, hey, this movie is terrible, but you still liked it. So, do you want to go first on this one?
Yeah. Well, I had my script. My phone is dying.
Oh no.
So the movie that I'd have to say comes to mind, that I liked but wasn't necessarily received well was Signs. And
who's that by?
Signs was directed by M. Night Shyamalan, a ding dong. and the movie, it's a sci-fi thriller. It revolves around aliens kind of coming down and trying to take over the world. You don't really find out really what's going on, but nobody likes a threat.
Yeah.
So I liked the movie because when I watched it, I was young. I don't remember how old I was. I had to have been maybe like 9 or 10 or something like that. But I was scared out of my brains, dude. Aliens are scary.
Yeah. Especially when you're little.
Yeah, dude, it was so weird. All right, and then also at the time, like I was down in Florida, so like I wasn't home in Jersey. I was down in Florida visiting some family, and I wanted to watch this movie. And then I'm young, and I'm sleeping in a place that I'm not familiar with, and I'm looking out the windows, and
that already makes the situation creepy.
Yeah, my freaking socks are sweaty already just thinking about it. But I liked the movie because it was well done. I thought it was a thriller. It was paced, in an appropriate way. I was able to relate to it a little bit. Some of the characters, Joaquin Phoenix is very handsome, and I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
But a lot of people thought that it was really, really dumb.
Yeah.
And it's because of M. Night Shyamalan likes to do twists at the end of like a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
And people thought that the twist at the end of this movie was very stupid because you can kill the aliens with water.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's it. Everybody's freaking out. People are like dying everywhere, and then like these farmers or whatever they are.
Yeah.
They find out that like if the water touches their skin, they start freaking out, and then that's like it. I don't think anything even happens after that.
Now, do you think your age had to do with anything of? So where I'm gonna get to is, if you were to watch as an older person, what would have been your reaction? Because a lot of times you watch a kid as a younger person, and you're not even able to really dissect the movie from that many angles, and you're just kind of like, oh, this is pretty cool, like But as an older person, you're able to kind of discern and just break things apart and say, yeah, really, water? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I think if watching it as a kid definitely helped me appreciate it more because you have this budding imagination and you're just watching something, you're taking it for what it's worth. You don't really have too much scientific background to say water doesn't really hurt too many things.
Yeah.
But if you were to take that and let's say I watched it maybe 10 years after, let's say like 6 years. I watched it like 5 or 6 years after I had seen it originally. I probably would have thought it would be stupid. Watching it now,
that's interesting
because that's even another like 5 or 6 years after I initially watched that movie. I would think it's probably just as awesome as I thought it was when I was younger.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, mostly because I'm a much more open-minded person than I was a couple years back.
Yeah, and the same thing happens with games too. But with movies, a lot of times if you watch something at a younger age and you say, "Yeah, that's my favorite movie," and then you tell your friends 10 years later. And they say, no, that was a terrible movie. Why would you ever watch that?
Yeah.
And it's almost like they're destroying your nostalgia. And even...
It's offensive.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
And even though the older critic within you will realize, yeah, that was probably a bad movie. But let me get into mine. I didn't have a real specific one for this one. It was just kind of universally pooped on by every critic. Are all the Transformer movies.
Really?
And yeah.
Those would have been... Well, I only saw the first two. And I thought that they were pretty cool.
Yeah. And I think I watched the three of them. At this point, it doesn't really matter. The point is that most of the time, the critic will just destroy it. And it's almost...
Really?
It's become almost... I didn't know that. It's become almost culturally accepted to
Transformers is a meme now?
Yeah. Like Michael Bay and, like boom, boom, explosion. Yeah.
I get you.
So that criticism is always there. And... That's right. I've always just kind of appreciated the movie for what it was, right? Yeah. It's a movie about alien robots that can transform into cars. What are you expecting? You're expecting a gripping story from, these cars that sometimes have vulgar language. And
how real do you want them?
Yeah, and it was more so a sense of seeing it for what it was worth. Seeing that this is this is a movie about aliens and... much like yours was also about aliens, and just because, like, I don't know, there's a tendency for critics, and obviously because that's their job, but I think they have an idea of what their ideal movie is, and then they compare everything to that. So,
well, that's the reason why they're paid. They're supposed to be the expert, right? Going in, they have all this expert knowledge about Hollywood and filmmaking and blah blah blah. So we're supposed to trust these guys with their opinions,
see, that's the thing,
which a lot of people don't realize. They're just an opinion.
Exactly, that's the thing.
It's very subjective.
Are we building this artificial trust around them because we expect them to be the expert on all of these? However, they don't have any of the same taste that we do. So, for example, if we're watching a movie like that, and what if mindless action movies are our thing, right?
That's true. Or they didn't even like Transformers growing up, or they had no history with it.
And you read one of their reviews, and you get completely turned off by it and say, wow, like, this is terrible. But if you were to go actually see it, you would have enjoyed it.
Yeah,
but
if you had gone
it's just that one person's perspective. That's why I've always thought, in general, that if there's a situation where anybody experiences something before you and tells you their opinion, always take that with a grain of salt, because their experience is not your experience, and even though they had a terrible time, you might have a good time, or you might share that, and then that's when you get like that whole tsunami of critics just publicly
just
bashing a movie.
Terrible circle jerk over a movie.
Yeah,
It just gets worse and worse.
Right.
That leads into one of our other questions, though. Whether or not someone's critique affects your experience of a movie.
Yeah.
And I would have to agree with you. If you do allow for someone's expert opinion on this film to skew what you're expecting, or how exactly you experience this thing, then you're not really giving it your own self-expression. You're just letting this person manipulate your ideas.
Yeah, let yourself have an opinion about it first before deciding.
Yeah. And then it goes back to what I mentioned before, how if I watched Signs 5 years after I actually watched it, I probably wouldn't have liked it, because back then I would have totally cared what Mr. Ebert and or Roper would have said about the movie, because they're the expert. I believe them.
Yeah, they know more than me.
Exactly.
Just like everybody on the internet.
Who am I to say, But now it's like you see that everybody is a body. He's no better than I am because he's got this name on a newspaper or whatever.
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
So I think that you should go in. All right, if you do check out a review, just like Asher said, take it with a grain of salt, which I didn't know what that meant until a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I saw it in Brain Age a bunch in that Nintendo game.
Oh.
And it was like, this Brain Age resulted, blah, 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 take it with a grain of salt. I was like, yes, it's food. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Anyway.
So, have you ever been turned off by a review and then not watched it at all? Or what kind of reaction have you had?
I would say so. And I can't remember a movie specifically, yeah, but I would say, like, seeing something like a red band trailer for a movie, they give you the best parts. They give you the points that are supposed
like
to
someone's
entice
Instagram
you.
feed.
Yeah. Why should you watch this movie? It's all in the red band trailer. You should watch the trailer and find out why you should watch it. But, that would be the thing that excites me. And then a couple days earlier, a review would come out and say, I don't know, this movie is crap, save your money and go, like, stare at a cat or something for a while. And then
you get a much entertaining experience out of that.
Yeah, in my teen years, totally it ruined my experiences.
Yeah. I will say that I read the review, I don't know if you saw this movie, for Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I didn't see it.
By M. Night Shyamalan.
I didn't see it, no.
And
I didn't even know that it was coming out. I was somewhere. I was at a weird point in my life.
I read the reviews to it, and like many of you guys watching, you probably have enjoyed the series on Nickelodeon of it, and based off that, you had hope for this film, and you guys could kind of see where I'm going with this. A lot of people.
Did you see the trailers and things before the movie came out, or did you just know that it was going to be?
I think I saw like one trailer, and I was like, "Oh, it looks kind of cool." You know how some trailers they're like deceptively.
Yeah.
They don't really show everything that's gonna be in there. They give
you the best parts. Or the parts that they think will appeal to the masses.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just kind of, it'll show a piece of action for like 2 seconds and then black screen and then something else.
Yeah.
A guy running, flipping water.
Text.
Black.
Yeah.
And then I was like, it's not bad. But boy, I read the reviews and, if you just wanted to see like, just critics just going in and just ripping a movie apart and just saying everything that they could possibly say about it. I'll get into a bit about whether it was justified or not, but...
Did you watch the movie?
Yeah, I did watch it.
Okay.
But the thing is, I read the reviews and it kind of left a sour taste in my mouth, and like I was advocating to you guys, I wanted to check it out for myself because, maybe they weren't fans of the original show, and maybe they don't understand it the same way that I would have.
Yeah, and the series was stupendous. It was a great show.
It was great. And some reviews were so bad that they're like, this movie is so bad, I still want you to watch it so you can see how bad it is. Yeah. And it was
like Sharknado?
Yeah. And it was
a joke at that point? Oh, man.
And I'm like, okay, I'll watch it. And, say what you... This one is also by M. Night Shyamalan, and...
He did make that movie.
Perhaps not his best work, and...
He's done good, and he's also done bad.
Yeah. There were things about the movie that I appreciated, some stuff that perhaps didn't make much sense. Overall, especially knowing... Here's the thing. Once you read a review, you kind of have that unconscious bias of like that critic in your head.
Yeah, you kind of look for the things that they tore apart.
Exactly. So then when you see it, you're like, oh, that's the thing that this guy wanted to like destroy the internet over. Yeah. And once you see those, it kind of, it's like, I kind of expected this. There's no expectation there. It's just,
I think and as you're telling me this Avatar story, if any of you guys are Dragon Ball Z fans, there was a live action Dragon Ball Z movie that had come out.
I heard about
back.
that. I never watched it.
This is going back 5 years ago, maybe. And it was, the same thing. They released a trailer, and it was very exciting because no one's ever done a live action Dragon Ball Z movie.
Mm-hmm.
But when the reviews came out, they were telling you that you should probably eat shit and die. That this movie has no reason or responsibility in being alive, that they should have stopped while they were ahead.
Yeah.
And I did not watch the movie because of it. Everyone I know that watched the movie shared that same exact sentiment.
And you see, I think it's a very big task to hold, to create something that was part of somebody's childhood and something as flexible as cartoons, right? On a cartoon, you could do whatever you want.
Imagination.
Yeah, and it's literally just that. Whatever you imagine, you can draw and you can animate.
Exactly.
That doesn't necessarily, like, as far as we've come with CGI and, all the, motion graphics, some of this other stuff, as far as we've come with all that, it has still been, there's still a clear hurdle to jump there in parody with the cartoon counterpart. And it's just that there's so much more freedom in the cartoon version. You could do...
There's less expectations overall because it's a show.
Less budget and less all this other stuff.
The television screen is a lot different from, they call it the silver screen in the film industry. It's, the silver screen is immortalized in a much different caliber, I guess.
And to be honest, like, as you're talking about the whole Dragon Ball Z thing, I just couldn't imagine in my head, how do you portray Goku as a human? Like, he is forever ingrained in my head as a cartoon character who has abnormally large hair that I would never expect a regular human to have. And
ridiculous body proportions.
Like, I would see every now and again around Halloween, like all the Goku Halloween costumes, and they're comical. It's what? And that's what I kind of felt hair. That's what I kind of figured for the movie. I'm like, what are they gonna wear, that costume? And
I have no idea.
Like, how are they gonna make that good? And it was a challenge, so kudos to them for even taking on the challenge. But just like the Avatar one, it's hard. I can't even think of a movie that has been successfully transferred over from cartoon. I was going to say Ninja Turtles maybe, but I didn't even watch that movie.
The recent one, that was another Michael Bay movie. And,
was it?
And it got mixed reviews, I think, too.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think, guys, if you guys can think of an example of a animated cartoon movie
that got a good adaptation.
Yeah, in like real life.
In a film adaptation, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, how about Batman?
Oh, but that's kind of like with all... You can say about all superhero movies.
Well, then you can...
that's not...
Those are the kinds of things. Well, then, all right, so you're talking about something different because you're right. Those were TV adaptations that I'm thinking of. They were all adapted from a comic book or something.
Yeah.
Which is the same as like a movie being made from a novel or a regular book, which usually comes out for better.
I'm trying to think like... And now I'm trying to think of other shows that I've watched, cartoon shows.
I'm thinking in my head like Billy and Mandy movies.
And converting them
Courage the Cowardly Dog.
If you did Pokemon in real life, that would... Ew. No. How would you make Pikachu?
Peter would be enraged. Why would you make Pokemon fight each other?
I mean, an actual dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not encouraging animal fighting by no means. Yeah, we support the animals.
Yeah, so if you guys can think of one, let us know.
Yeah.
So we're going to roll into our break now, and this one is just, I don't know,
what was the last thing?
Just shout out
what's
something.
The last thing that helped you out? Shout out to Amazon affiliates.
Oh yeah, we recently became Amazon affiliates. If in the link of our description, you will see some links there to the gear that we use. And if you want to support us, you can buy stuff from that, and it gives us a small percentage. And that's your way of just saying, hey, you guys are kind of cool. I want to support you guys, and you're free to do it or not do it.
If nothing else, you can go in and check out the link and then see kind of like what the specs are or what the technology is that we're using, and then like let us know whether or not you feel we're doing, the best that we can, or give us suggestions.
Yeah, because, we're kind of a work in progress. And
for sure.
Part of the reason why we have the setup now is, like we said before, the flexibility it gives us, but perhaps there's something even better. And we've been learning over and over, just iterations on our previous setups from like the very first episode to now.
You can't fit 3 boxes in styrofoam in this car.
Yeah, definitely not. So it's actually pretty cool that we're even able to do this.
This is amazing. Alien technology.
Yeah.
It's like a science.
All right, so we're gonna roll in. So check our Amazon affiliate. And,
links are gonna be in the description and in the show notes. So check that out.
So we're gonna roll into our next question, and
we have covered a little bit of it.
Yeah, we did cover a little bit. So, what are your thoughts on trailers and pre-movie hype? Does it detract or add to the movie-going experience?
I have a shorter answer.
Yeah.
Me, the point that I'm at now, I feel that all movies should have one red band trailer, and they should be allowed to do television ads, but they should have one permutation of that advertisement. And I feel this way because I think lots of movies are now taking advantage of social media and creating these indispensable hype trains and revealing a lot more about the movie than they should be.
Yeah.
Back when I saw Signs and I saw that trailer, I didn't know that they were even going to be aliens in it. I just thought it was a scary movie.
Yeah. Do you feel, because now more than ever, we have so many mediums. We have so many mediums to absorb content from, and have you ever been the type of person, or it could be with movies or with games, that you just tell yourself, I'm not going to watch any trailer or any demo?
Most recently, yeah, within the last year and a half, I've started doing that. And I have greatly appreciated the amount of blindness that I've gotten going into something.
Yeah, and guys in the that are listening, let us know if you guys have ever been through an experience where you kind of don't want it ruined for yourself. Perhaps you have an idea in your head of maybe what you want it to be, or maybe you just want to hear the announcement like, oh, Halo 6 is coming out, and then you're super hyped about it, just hearing the name.
Oh my God, when Metal Gear came out, I had to go cold turkey off the internet. I couldn't. There were so many spoilers just in the stuff that the actual company was releasing.
And now, what do you think that is? Do you think either the trailers are revealing too much, or are they detracting from your overall experience, or are they kind of disappointing you too early, right? Because sometimes you can have an idea, like say, oh, Halo 6 comes out, and maybe it's only the announcement, and then a trailer comes out, and you see the trailer, and you're like, another question would be, have you ever not watched the movie just because of the trailer? Like if it was a bad trailer.
Oh, like if the trailer turned you off?
Yeah, if the trailer's bad, have you just not watched the movie?
I don't know.
Because I wonder how much...
Well, it depends, because you have to kind of be looking forward to the movie for it to have to change your perception. Because you either decide whether or not you're going to watch it or you're going to pass on it. You don't like actively say, no, I'm going to go out of my way to not watch this movie. You know?
Yeah. I mean, some people...
I don't think I've ever seen like a bad trailer.
Yeah.
Unless it's just like a text banner saying, when the release date is. I think that's pretty nasty.
Let us know if you've ever watched a trailer and that alone has made you not watch the movie alone.
I'd like to hear what that sounds like such a letdown.
Yeah,
like
right?
Preemptive letdown.
Right? Like they had the perfect movie planned, and then as soon as they saw the first character, they're like, oh my God, I'm not watching this. I'm going on Reddit and complaining.
Yeah. I had something else to say. I don't remember what it was. I should have just said shut and then pretended like I never had something to say.
Yeah. But for me, I don't know, because...
Oh, I remembered.
Go.
Dark Knight Rises. Heath Ledger did an amazing Joker job. Did you watch that?
I did.
I didn't know that Two-Face was going to be in that movie. He was going to be like a secondary antagonist or whatever.
Yeah, Harvey Dent.
Yeah. I was ready for the movie to end when Joker was like,
I really did think it was only about the Joker.
And then I was sitting in my chair, I'm like, oh my God, the movie's still going. Harvey's in the thing. Harvey, of course, he's Two-Face, blah, blah, blah. And all this nostalgia and stuff happened. Yeah. But I didn't know. And because of the fact that I didn't know, I appreciated that extension of what I thought was an extension to a movie so much more because of it.
Whereas if you would have saw it on a trailer, you would kind of just be like, oh, there's Two-Face.
Yeah. Or
much
expecting
less
like,
of that
what happened to Two-Face? Yeah, instead of feeling entitled.
Yeah. Now, it's weird because I'm kind of torn on the fact that I think on one end, we kind of need pre-movie hype just because the nature in which we consume media, our attention is so divided that...
Instant gratification.
Yeah, that if we're not constantly reminded that a movie's going to come out, we'll probably forget about it just because we're juggling 30 other things.
Maybe.
And the thing is, I can kind of see why there's hype, but then I can kind of see how that creates like a false expectation in the person who wants to watch the movie. And then when they go watch it, they're like, oh man, they put all the best parts in the trailer and the rest of this movie is filler.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever felt like that in movies, but it's not good, right? Because you just spent your money, you're planning on having a good day, you're so hyped up. There's people, especially people who go to midnight releases, like I know one of the bigger ones are like Harry Potter movies. When there's a midnight release, these people are dressed in like their Gryffindor stuff and like the sorting hat and all this other stuff. And boy, if they would have gone in that movie theater and realized that the movie was terrible, there's gonna be some fire. Yeah. So I don't know. I think there definitely needs to be pre-show hype, but I like the concept of a teaser trailer to just kind of like.
Well, do you agree with my formula? One red band plus one TV ad. Yeah. Circulating for whatever.
Yeah. The now I wonder though, because given how pervasive commercials are and how many different places you can see it, you might get sick of watching the same commercial. But
yeah, but when there's a different one on, do you notice it? Unless you're like, oh, this is a distinct scene that I didn't see the last time.
I guess I would probably have to think about it first.
You'd have to be going out of your way to see it.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah.
Because if you know that it's there, you're not going to be like, dissecting it.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think. Would it be better to just hold all that hype and all that desire to go want to watch the movie and just block yourself from the whole internet and say, because now it's people even reveal spoilers and everything on the internet. And
willingly, and they get excited.
Yeah, I remember with the whole Star Wars thing. Like now it's
the entire script got leaked, right, or something like that.
Or they mentioned something about something happening to a specific character, and it was those people who watched at midnight that they then went on Reddit and were like, "Oh, such and such happened to this person," and it's like, "Oh, dude, like."
Yeah, that's terrible.
And now it's almost made it so that if you're not watching it in midnight, you kind of have to like now hide from the internet because everybody's gonna be talking about it.
That's almost what I did. I bought Mass Effect 3 whenever it came out. Mm-hmm. It's September at some point. Yeah. But I didn't get around to playing it because I was in school and, going balls to the wall with it. There was probably like a 6-month slap in between when I purchased it. And I go to IGN.com for a bunch of my video gaming news and other media stuff. And I didn't go on the website for 6 months because I was so afraid of spoiling stuff for myself. It's just everybody is so into the instant gratification.
And everybody's so vocal about it, right? Yeah. Because now everybody's opinion has a voice. Heard. Yeah.
Not necessarily everybody deserves an opinion.
So it's, the good with the bad, right? This technology allows us to really give feedback in the most instantaneous way possible. But when it comes to wanting to be in the dark, that becomes such an obstacle because
it used to be so easy.
Right? All you had to do was exist. And now you just have to go out of your way, put like a filter on your browser to just not go to that specific sites.
Exactly. What's our next question?
All right, so our last question would be, what were your thoughts on, since we were just talking about how we watched Batman v Superman?
Yep.
And so what were your thoughts on that? And
no spoilers? It's been out for about 2 weeks now.
I mean, yeah, we could put like a thing like spoiler alert here.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Skip to this point to not hear any Batman versus Superman spoilers.
Our editor will get on that.
Yeah, and then we'll skip ahead.
Yeah.
All right.
And if you read any reviews afterwards, did you enjoy it more or less?
Okay. Well, you can start this one off. I started most of the questions.
All right. So my entire view on it was, and much like when you had mentioned with the movie Signs, where perhaps you didn't have that discerning mind was able to say for sure these are the pieces that were wrong with it.
Yeah.
I think I kind of had that idea with the Batman v Superman movie. I enjoyed it. I was really impressed with all the action scenes and all the special effects.
I would have to agree, yeah.
It was
an amazing production.
Just seeing the credits at the end and seeing how many people were working on the graphics of that movie. It was ridiculous. These are teams of people.
Teams of teams. They had assistants for the sub-teams of teams.
And
everybody.
It gives you an idea of scale in a way that nothing but a movie can do. Like, there's something about movies that signify almost the epitome of what can happen when enough minds work on something. And so much goes into making a movie that is obviously taken for granted, right? Because there's a new movie every week, and the easier it is for you to get something, the less appreciation you have for it. And
we didn't work for any of the movies that we watched.
No.
We didn't take 2 years out of
our lives. And all we had to do was give some pimply faced guy our ticket, and we just walk in.
Shout out to Phil at AMC 17.
Hey. One time, check out his Instagram at Movie Phil. But so I don't know. I enjoyed it, and it wasn't until after the film that I realized that there was such a negative reception to it. And I can't help but to say that a lot of this came from people who were either fans of the comics or people that I guess felt like they had something invested into the movie where there was so much pre-hype. Like, we have a mutual friend, Bovin, who like every time a new trailer came out, I don't know if he would like post it, but like he would say like, oh, there's a new trailer out, and he was super, super hyped for it.
He's a mega like diehard Superman fan.
I'd be interested to find what he thought about that movie, if he watched it or not. Because there is that sense of there's all this hype leading up to it. Like if there's like say a 5-month-old trailer and you have like 5 months to wait for that thing that you've been kind of like foaming at the mouth to get, and then you get it, and then you realize through certain events in the movie that it wasn't what you expected, people just, especially with comic book movies and with it happens with games too, where that community is perhaps the most vocal and also the most emotional, but also the most entitled for some reason, because when a gamer doesn't get what he wants, he'll go on Reddit and where everybody thinks the same, and they'll be like,
mind mentality, mob mentality.
They'll be like, yeah, man, like that gun is overpowered. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, F this developer, let's rape his mom. Like, all this,
pitchforks and knives.
And it's like, is you know, it is what it is, right?
Yeah,
like,
it goes back to what we said last time. You know, games used to come out and then there'd be a glitch or something, but they didn't patch it. They just said, hey,
you didn't expect the game to get better. You got
check out how funny this thing is.
Yeah, exactly.
Next time, maybe.
And in the movie, like, I like the action scenes. Like after
the three points. Narrative, action, and pacing.
And I would say I heard it was very fast paced. I don't know. Again, because I don't have that, that discerning view to realize, oh, things are going a lot faster than they should.
Yeah. It was a long movie too.
It was. So for there to be fast pacing, that means, in reading the reviews, a lot of it was because they were trying to squeeze so much things into the 2-hour time frame that they had.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was like 2 hours and a half, right?
2.5 hours, yeah.
Yeah, and it was kind of like DC's attempt to match all the things that Marvel was doing and just kind of like, all right, let's fit in the trailer for like every other Justice League member in this one movie.
Yeah.
And then let's also introduce this superhero, or this super villain, like out of nowhere. And
it was a huge preemptive strike on their part.
Yeah, and so is it kind of them putting all their eggs in one basket? I guess it's kind of like that. As far as the narrative, a lot of people were basing it off the comic book series and what was happening in there. As somebody who was ignorant to that, I thought it was kind of cool how my favorite scene was the spoilers, obviously.
Skip to X again.
I think it was like Superman came down onto Batman's car and ripped the doors apart. And Batman is standing
there,
up.
just like,
and he was like, "Oh, like the bat is dead or whatever. Like, don't be Batman anymore." And he's like, "Do you bleed? You will." And it was like, oh man, that was so tough. Like,
he's not scared of anybody.
Exactly. I'm like,
I forgot about that. So good.
Look at this puny human in a bat suit with looking into the eyes of a god, essentially, and not caring. Like,
man.
It's like,
that's balls.
Like, do you have a vulnerability? Because I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna make you feel that. And I love that part so much.
Good. I'm flexing so hard.
Yeah. And it was like that was the moment of the movie for me. There was a lot of other funny stuff, like when Batman saves Superman's mom and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm a friend of your son.
I figured.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so getting all the other scenes, what did you think of the action?
The action was great. That was
superhero movies. That's the thing. Action scenes.
Hey, that along with like the graphics, it just went in together. Like, just the fighting with what's that guy's name? That huge guy, Doomsday or whatever.
Doomsday.
Apocalypse or whatever. some bad name.
It was Doomsday. Doomsday.
Yeah,
The other guy's Dark Side.
Yeah.
It was Doomsday.
Yeah, something bad. But just like Wonder Woman coming out of nowhere and just blocking that, and she just looked cool, and the music, and I got really into it. Action, it was good for me. So even after reading the reviews and all the opinionated people who know way more about this movie than I would, based off so many other pieces of evidence that they have, I enjoyed it. Even after reading it, I could see what they were talking about. Reviews, I could see what they were talking about. But again, since I saw it for myself, I had my appreciation first, and then I saw their opinion second. So, that stayed with me more than all the bad stuff they said. And hey, I would recommend you guys to watch it if you haven't watched it yet. Well, it's been spoiled for you guys. So.
Watch the other parts. Watch
Watch the next version. What about you?
I would have to say a lot of my ideas are on the same line, and I'll just skip to the three things just to wrap it up.
Yeah.
The narrative, I thought it was extremely well done. I also came from the same background. I hadn't read, apparently the two big comics that they took the plot from was Dark Knight Rises and Death of Superman.
Yeah.
And they kind of melded both of those into the movie. And I saw in some of the reviews, they were showing the comic book frames and then frames from the movie, and they were verbatim the same exact scene, which I kind of get.
Fan service.
But exactly, fan service. But people were upset about that. I don't really understand.
Well, people are going to find a reason to be mad at everything.
Yeah, haters going to hate, potatoes going to potato. But I liked it because it just kind of worked. I have this, I have a passion for these superhero movies. Superheroes are the ish. They're like our version of Greek gods and goddesses back in the day, right? They were the talk of the town.
They look cool no matter what they do.
Yeah. So the plot was great. I thought the pacing was amazing. So the movie was 2.5 hours, but the entire time it didn't feel like it was dragging at all.
Yeah.
I felt to me like everything was important except for one scene when they're showing off all of the Justice League members just for the hell of it. It had nothing to do with the
trailers,
plot. Yeah, but it's cool, foreshadowing.
Yeah.
But I thought it was great because everything kind of felt like it was necessary in order for the plot to progress.
Yeah.
Even the scenes where nothing was really happening, it just kind of made you feel with the characterization of what was going on.
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I was kind of thrown off by that scene where apparently Batman got into a dream and he was in the desert with
one
all
of the
those
sequences. Oh yeah.
Yeah. That kind of threw me off, and then after reading the reviews, I saw why that was happening. I didn't know who that character was. Okay, yeah. And I realized, that's the Flash and stuff, and it makes sense because he's all this foreshadowing. But it just kind of didn't make sense to me in the movie where it was just he's just looking at the screen, and then all of a sudden black, and then he's there. I'm like, whoa, what happened? Right? There's this hole here, but
yeah, I actually like that because there was a couple things during the dream sequence that I picked up on and I kind of figured what they were doing.
Yeah, so it gave you context.
Yeah. I was able to pick up the context because of the little bit of background that I knew about the Justice League and Dark Side.
Yeah,
and all those guys.
Yeah, so I would say for the most part, I think kind of the theme that we've been hitting on is almost the less you know about a movie, the more likely you are to enjoy it because you let the movie tell its story and not some other person.
Right.
And
which it should be doing.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be going to the movies and the movie should not doing its job. The director was they'll know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. And then
you should never
And
have
then
to
if
do
it
that.
doesn't do that, then you can say it's a bad movie,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Because then you say, well, I had to look at the critical review because that one had more details than the actual movie.
Yeah.
That's when you know the movie's bad.
Yeah.
If it's not telling a story right.
It's the same with video games too, because every single time I put anybody on Metal Gear, oh yeah, dude, you should pick up Metal Gear 4. Oh, do I have to play the other ones to get it? It's no, but it would obviously add to your experience.
Yeah.
But people say, no, because I'm not going to get it because it's confusing because the internet, blah, blah, blah. Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
They already took themselves out of the experience already.
Yeah. So I thought the pacing was good for what it was worth. It was just a good film overall, I feel.
Yeah.
Action scenes. I have one thing to say about the action scenes. The scene where Batman is saving Clark's mom, Superman's mom from the warehouse or whatever, and he completely obliterates all of the bad guys in a 700 hit combo.
Yeah.
Yo, he wrecked everybody in there. He was the Dark Knight from the video games. He was free flow combat, batarangs and explosions and stuff. It was the best live action Batman fighting scene I've ever seen.
It was
Cheers
awesome.
to Ben Affleck and his crew and his
all the haters who still had gripe,
killed it, man.
Who had gripe from him from Daredevil.
Yo,
like a
Ben
super.
Affleck was jacked too. He was jacked in this movie. He was handsome.
He was just tough. Like
He was
like that
dude,
scene where just his voice and everything. It was just like this guy means business.
Affleck for president.
Yeah, and the fact that obviously
He did so good.
I was so thrown off when I saw like the usage of guns and all this other stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I never saw Batman do that, but that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe Batman should be like this because he's more interesting that way, and he's not this passive aggressive guy. Who's
I think a lot of people don't realize is the fact that this is a separate universe. Although it's drawing inspiration from these comics,
right?
Because that's what they're based on. It's its own universe. It's the DC cinematic universe. So if Batman wants to cap a couple fools, he's gonna do it because he's old and grumpy. And
it looks so cool. And there's like some fan theory reasons why, like as a retired person, he was able to do all of that, and has to do with the Joker and all this other stuff. So
that's true.
There might be a reason.
He's a different Batman.
Yeah, exactly, and just his mindset and everything. So
very true.
I think it was cool.
Yeah,
like
man.
I was just like, it was kind of like in the Avenger movie when like just Hulk is just let off to do whatever the hell he wants, and he's just destroying people and just slamming them on buildings and just like
huge monsters and mechs being taken down.
Yeah, and he's just like a little kid in the playground. He's just destroying everything, and that's kind of what I felt when Batman was just mopping fools everywhere, just destroying them.
It was so good. We were during the scene. There was one guy who like hit Batman. And he got him off guard, and like it ruined everything because he got off his flow. But then after he got himself back up, he completely obliterated his life and made him regret all of the decisions. He used all of his super moves on that one guy, and it was just over. Oh man, it was so good. I would look that up online just to see that one fight sequence because it was great.
Yeah. Right. So basically,
it was great. Watch it.
Overall review, watch it. Definitely something you should experience for yourself before reading the reviews. If you have already read the reviews, take that with a grain of salt. Still watch it. Form your own opinion, and then maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. So
Either way, I think you should go into it expecting to watch a film, and it just so happens to be about superheroes. A lot of people go into it expecting a superhero movie and for it to be fun. And
they want to judge it like The Revenant.
Yeah.
And it's like they're not the same thing.
They want to do either that or they expect it to be a comedy because Marvel's thing is like they're keeping it fun because they're just like Disney. Come on.
I mean, you have Spider-Man. How can he not be funny? Well, there's that part where he's all depressed and stuff, but still.
Whatever. I think it was great. You should watch it because it was a good film. You should watch it to make your own opinion.
Yeah.
And think about reviews the next time you see them. They really are just somebody else's opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
We just gave you a review. You don't have to believe ours.
Yeah. We know nothing.
We don't get paid for it either. So
2 thumbs up. Yeah. All right. So this one is going to wrap up episode 9 of the Working Podcast, Car Edition,
Gorilla Whipcast,
and
episode
Movie
9.
Edition. So thank you guys for watching. Check us out on our social media.
Let us know if you like these kind of like more granular kind of episodes where we're focusing on like a singular topic, but then bouncing off back to video games and tech every time.
Yeah,
by accident. Because I have fun having like a more smaller,
focused.
Yeah. It's nice to throw the dart at an actual target.
Yeah. All right.
But thanks for hanging out. Thanks, Yasser. This was fun. Gorilla Whipcast in the mix. And hit us up on our media pages. They're going to be all over the place. Instagram, Twitters.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, all right.
So we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Top 10.
Gains.